Good evening, Marvin Minnie, here with you tonight to speak to you concerning my Unit 4 informative speech. While doing my informative speech, I will be utilizing my mnemonic device, which ties in with my Unit 4 informative speech, which also ties in with my Unit 5 persuasive speech. I feel though they all kind of go together. They're probably not that much different. Of course, if I'm wrong, I'm sure the teacher will correct me on that. But tonight I'll be speaking to you concerning my Unit 4 informative speech, utilizing my Unit 3 mnemonic device. We all know what a mnemonic device is. It's actually a device that utilizes a word that has letters in it, of course, that actually enables you to remember something because you have it set up in the words with the letters that you're easily able to remember something. So tonight I'm going to speak to you concerning substance abuse while utilizing my mnemonic device. Now, I'm sure we all realize with substance abuse, as wide and as extensive as that is, there's no way I can speak to you tonight concerning the whole aura surrounding that. Tonight what I'm going to do, I'm going to speak to you concerning a thought process, a pattern that one can follow that I think would help, and one to not use drugs, period, or that if they did experience drugs once or twice and they don't want to do it again, hopefully if they follow this pattern, this thought process, this mnemonic device, they might not use it again and it might help. So hopefully maybe you might get something out of this and maybe it'll help you out. Alright, I'm sure we've all heard about, again, drugs and substance abuse and so forth, which means I'm sure we probably all heard of, phrases like scared straight, get straight, be straight, remain straight. So I utilize the word straight, and this is what I made my mnemonic device out of, the word straight, which is STRAIGHT. Now, the first letter in straight is S, and S just stands for stop. Exactly, just stop. It's that simple, because that's the first step. And a lot of times we tend to feel as though we always have to say something or to react to something, and we do, but sometimes not right away. Of course, we're all not stupid. We're all grown adults, and we all know that when we have to react to something right away, of course that's obvious, don't have to go into that. But a lot of times we don't have to react right away. We can actually just stop. So if somebody offers you some drugs, just stop. Just stop. That's the first one. That's S. T. Think. Think. See, a lot of times we don't do that either, because that sometimes ties in with thinking that we have to react right away or respond right away, or somebody says something like, oh, I gotta say something real fast, I gotta say something real fast. No, you don't have to. You can stop, and while you're stopping, now you're thinking. Now you're putting into place this process that hopefully can help you. So we done stopped. Now we're thinking. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Okay, ST. Now we're at R. R is remember, react. Now we done stopped. We're thinking. Now we're remembering and reacting. Now, if you never use drugs, that's great. That is great. But I'm guaranteed to tell you, I can pretty much go out on a limb and say that you probably heard of drugs, whether it's the media, the internet, TV, water fountain conversations, dinner table conversations, friends, whatever the case may be. You've heard about drugs, which means you've also heard about the negativity surrounding drugs, probably the crime surrounding drugs and the harm it does, and not the physical, everything. You've heard about drugs. So while you stopped, while you're thinking, just remember that stuff. Remember all the things you've heard about drugs, and ask yourself, well, let me see, is there anything positive I heard about drugs? Nah. nothing positive about drugs. So if there's nothing positive about drugs, if there's nothing positive about anything, why would you want to act on that? So if you're remembering, if you stop, you're thinking, and now you're remembering all the bad things you heard about drugs, let's now react on what we're remembering and leave it alone. Now you've stopped, you're thinking, you're remembering all the bad stuff, and you're reacting on what you remembered. Okay, now we're at A, S-T-R-A. Now you need to apply what you're remembering and reacting on. We remembered all this bad stuff about drugs. We remembered all these things we heard about drugs. Remember that our mom or our dad got high. Remembered how embarrassed we felt when people found out that our mom and dad got high. Remember that one time that we got high and maybe we got busted or we got caught or whatever the case may be. We got so drunk we fell out. I mean, whatever. I'm sure it was negative. If it was concerning drugs. So we remembered that stuff, and we need to apply those memories and react on, man, I'm not doing this anymore. So you need to apply what you remembered concerning drugs, because all these things will go together. They're very close to STRAIGHT. They're very close, and they all tie in. And actually, it's going to take a couple minutes to explain this all to you, but really this whole process should not take more than a couple seconds, actually. So now we're applying what we remembered about the negativity surrounding drugs. Okay, so now we're at I. We stopped, we're thinking, we're remembering, reacting, we're applying what we remembered, and now we're going to initiate what we are applying from what we remembered. As you see, like I said, they're all tied in. So initiating something could just be simply walking away. It could be simply saying, no thank you. It could be simply saying, I don't get down like that. It could be simply saying, you know I don't get high. Whatever the case may be, however you talk, whatever your lingo is, whatever you feel is going to help you, just initiate it. Walk away. I mean, if you have to leave that party, if that's where you're at, leave the party. If you have to leave that part of the party, leave that part of the party. If you have to leave a certain person alone, leave that person alone. Remember, you're supposed to be looking out for your benefit. So you need to initiate whatever you need to do to get away from drugs. Okay, so now we done stopped. We done thought about it. We done remembered to react. We applied it. We're initiating what we're applying. Now we're at the G. Am I spelling it right? Yeah, we're at the G. Yeah, we're at the G. You need to grab onto what you're initiating. Now, peer pressure is rough. That's one of the main things of why some people try drugs. Whether they want to fit in, whether they have low self-esteem, whether they feel as though somebody doesn't like them, so well, if I get high with them, maybe they'll like me, whatever the case may be. You know, that is rough, and it actually turns a lot of people into drugs. So if we grab onto what we are initiating, like I said, maybe we're walking away. Okay, we could walk away from somebody. They can say, hey, wait, hold up, come on, let's do this. Come on, let's do this. And they can try to bring you back. That's that peer pressure thing. Also, at the same time, too, see, the person that could be offering you drugs, man, this could be a brother. It could be a sister. It could be a very close friend of yours. And they could hit you with the, listen, man, I know what you're going through. We've talked about this before. I know you're hurt right now. Come on, man, smoke this J. Drink this beer. Do this line. Whatever the case may be, they could be hitting you with these things, thinking that they're actually helping you when really they're not. I mean, and they could be legitimate with feeling as though, hey, man, come on, you know, I'm trying to help you here. So you need to grab onto what you initiated, and it could be just simply you walking away. Just keep walking away. Keep telling them no. I mean, even get to the point with, hey, man, listen, man, thanks, I appreciate it, but nah, man, I don't want to do that. And just grab a hold of that. Remain steadfast with that, and just keep it moving. That's one of my favorite sayings. Keep it moving. So now we're going to hit the STRAIG. We're at the H. Hold on to that. Once you grabbed what you applied and initiated, hold on to that. Because again, peer pressure is rough. Because I've had a lot of people come into my office and say, man, they asked me and they asked me and I kept saying no. But then they asked me again. I said, okay. So see, no, you can't do that. Grab and hold on to. Remain steadfast. See, it's all about being able to get up in the next morning and feeling good about what happened. Not getting up the next morning with a hangover. Getting up the next morning not knowing where you're at. Getting up the next morning with no money. I mean, whatever the case may be, hold on to what you know is best. Hold on to what you know is positive. Just hold on to realizing that you don't need to do that. Write the last letter now. Thanks. Give thanks to yourself that you was able to get through that scenario. Give thanks to maybe the person that you brought to the party that said back and said, come on man, no, let's not do that. Give thanks to your higher power or your God, your mother or your father or your brother or your close friend or whoever it was that assisted you and gave you some aid in not making that dumb move. But first of all, give thanks to yourself because, I mean, you could have failed. You know, you could have went around the corner and lost that person that you knew was going to try to help you not get high and ditch them and try to go get high. So, of course, first, thank yourself because you got through it. You made it. So be thankful for that. So there you have your S, you stopped. You have your T, you thought about it. You have your R, you remembered and you reacted. You have your A, you're applying what you remembered. You have your I, you're initiating what you have applied. You have your G, you grab a hold of that and you stay strong. You have your H, you held on to that and you stay strong. And after all that, you have your T. Now you're able to thank yourself because you got through that evening or that night or that scenario. You made it. You see, all through life, we have opportunities to do right and to do wrong, to be good or to be bad. And we have to make better decisions with our lives. We have to make better decisions because we're not living alone. Most of the time, we're not living alone. Once we get to a certain age in our lives, we have kids, we have parents, we have brothers, we have sisters, we have close friends. We have people that just love us. And they don't want to see us hurting. They don't want to see us harmed. They don't want to see us go down. They don't want to see us fail. So we have to make better decisions with life, with what life throws at us. And I think that, well, obviously, again, like I said, drugs is something that is everywhere. I mean, you can't really get away from that. So there's probably going to be a time in your life that drugs are going to enter it, directly or indirectly. You just have to make a good decision when you get there. So, hopefully utilizing my straight mnemonic device, that might help you get through it. Hopefully it does. Gratitudes.